Wednesday, Glenn Beck tweeted out a screenshot of an email from the Bonner Group. The Bonner Group is a leftist fundraising super PAC for Hillary Clinton under the employ of George Soros' Mediamatters. The email reads, "For years, Bill O'Reilly has been one of the worst purveyors of misinformation on Fox News, a serial misinformer pushing many of the most extreme sexist, racist, homophobic, and xenophobic conservative theories on TV. Thanks to Mediamatters, O'Reilly and Fox News are being held accountable." Mediamatters for America is a web-based, not-for-profit 501c3 progressive research and information center dedicated to comprehensively monitoring, analyzing, and correcting conservative misinformation in the U.S. media. Launched in May 2004, Mediamatters for America put in place for the first time the means to systematically monitor a cross-section of print, broadcast, cable, radio, and internet media outlets for conservative misinformation, news or commentary that is not accurate, reliable, or credible, and that forwards the conservative agenda every day in real time. So they're basically a progressive propaganda machine that actively engages in the smearing of anybody they disagree with politically, using the website Mediamatters.org as the principal vehicle for disseminating research and information. Mediamatters posts rapid response items as well as longer research and analytical reports documenting conservative misinformation throughout the media. Additionally, Mediamatters works daily to notify activists, journalists, pundits, and the general public about instances of misinformation, providing them with resources to debut false claims and take direct action against offending media institutions. Does this sound like an organization that in any way should be a non-profit? Just saying. So now that we got the introduction of this out of the way and kind of the introduction into what Mediamatters is, and the fact that they were the principal arm of the campaign to get Bill O'Reilly off of Fox News, I'm going to dig into this story a little deeper, and kind of where I'm going with this is if they can take out Bill O'Reilly, someone's been at Fox News for 20 years, 30 years, someone's that powerful, what can't they do? Who can't they take out if they want to? Well, they tried to take out PewDiePie, and we all know how well that worked for them. Why Verizon and AT&T are suddenly pulling their ads from Google and YouTube. AT&T and Verizon are withdrawing much of their advertising from Google amid a widening backlash against the internet giant's algorithmic ad placing software. Wednesday's decision reflects concern by the country's biggest telecom companies that Google's automated systems could be placing their ads beside extremist content and on websites that promote hate speech. And who defines exactly what hate speech is? Well, I'll tell you, the left does. Google's advertising operations are highly automated and deal with countless websites around the world. Grappling with hate speech at that scale possesses a challenge. Company officials conceded in a blog post Monday, but they vowed Google will work harder to take down ads when they appear next to content that is deemed hateful. The company also promised to give advertisers better control over where their ads appear, such as making it easier to blacklist certain types of content or sites where an advertiser does not want an ad to show up. Surely you can see the case I'm trying to lay out here in that the tactics, the platforms may be different, but the tactics are the same. It's all going after advertising, money, going after people's livelihoods. And it's being done by the mainstream media, progressive activists, and government, and nonprofits like Mediamatters. Now let's go back to the Bill O'Reilly thing, because the media is orgasmic over this.
All right, here we go. Breaking news on CNN. Conservative media's biggest star and the face of Fox News is out.
Well, could you possibly hold back the glee there, huh?
News this afternoon dumped Bill O'Reilly. Now, we should say right off the bat, the goings-on in this business, let alone at a competitor, normally are not news.
Oh, gee, you think? Shouldn't you be, I don't know, finding a missing airplane or, well, I don't know, reporting on false news stories about Russian hookers and hacking of elections and stuff like that? That's much more breaking news, you know.
Advertisers started leaving O'Reilly's show. Protesters then instantly activated on social media.
Oh yeah, that's what happens. Activists instantly activate, huh? Right. Like that actually happened.
And elsewhere, and convinced dozens and dozens more advertisers to leave Bill O'Reilly's show, and advertisers.
All right, enough of these hacks. I'm going to get into the meat of this story now.
So here's the email that Glenn Beck showed on his Twitter feed from the Boner Group. Boner. Okay, the Boner Group. For years, Bill O'Reilly has been one of the worst purveyors of misinformation on Fox News, a serial misinformer pushing many of the most extreme, sexist, racist, homophobic, and xenophobic conservative theories on TV. Additionally, a recent bombshell New York Times investigation found that Fox News and Fox host Bill O'Reilly had paid $13 million to settle with 5 women who accused the host of repeated sexual harassment or verbal abuse. Thanks to Mediamatters, O'Reilly and Fox News are being held accountable. Due to our advertising education campaign, our over 80 advertisers have currently dropped O'Reilly's show, and the momentum continues to build. We are currently at a critical juncture in this campaign. I hope you can join Mediamatters president Angelo Carusone to hear about the success of the campaign so far and our plans moving forward. We will be holding update calls next week. Okay, now I'm going to lay out what the Bonner Group is, because they're contacting Mediamatters about this campaign to get Bill O'Reilly off the air. And there's something significant because Mediamatters is a 501c3, a nonprofit organization. And now let's go to the IRS. To be tax exempt, under Section 501c3 of the Internal Revenue Code, an organization must be organized and operated exclusively for exempt purposes, set forth in Section 501c3, and none of its earnings may inure to any private shareholder or individual. In addition, it may not be an action organization. It may not attempt to influence legislation as a subsequent part of its activities, and it may not participate in any campaign activity for or against political candidates. Under the Internal Revenue Code, all Section 501c3 organizations are absolutely prohibited from directly or indirectly participating in or intervening in any political campaign on behalf of or in opposition to any candidate for elective public office. Tell me that Mediamatters hasn't gone after political campaigns and hasn't propped up political campaigns. Clearly they have. Contributions to political campaign funds or public statements of position, verbal or written, made on behalf of the organization in favor of or in opposition to any candidate for public office clearly violate the prohibition against political campaign activity. Violating this prohibition may result in denial of or revocation of tax-exempt status and the imposition of certain excise taxes. It is immediately clear, just by looking at their website, that this is not what this website, this organization is for. It is clearly a progressive propaganda smear machine targeted specifically at their political opposition, which is the conservative media and the conservative party, which is the Republican Party, and any conservative politicians and leaders that they disagree with. Does this, I once again reiterate, does this sound like something that should be classified as a charitable organization? Now, onto the Bonner Group. The Bonner Group has been deeply involved in soliciting money for the Brock Network. Those who know, Brock is I believe he's the owner of Mediamatters. and a big Clinton supporter. Bonner has fundraised for Brock-backed groups, including the short-lived Fund for America in 2007 and the super PAC Correct the Record in 2016, which blazed new and controversial trails in big money politicking. Consistent with Brock's constellation of groups ranging from 501c3 and C4 dark money nonprofits to political action committees and super PACs, the Bonner Group has long blended explicitly political work with ostensibly nonpartisan, tax-exempt, educational, and social welfare advocacy. So, yeah, they do that. And according to what I read from the IRS, that is not allowed. But let's get out of the legality stuff right now because it's so corrupt and the right does it too. So let's just get into the targeting of your political enemies and silencing them because you don't like what they're saying on the air. And the prototype, the modern prototype for this strategy was Glenn Beck from Fox News. Is they targeted his advertisers to try and get him. That was forced off that network by a Mediamatters campaign. And there was an individual that started all this. And his name is Angelo Carusone, and he is currently the president of Mediamatters, I believe. Carusone is a veteran of multiple pressure campaigns. In 2009, while still a student in law school, he launched a #StopBeck campaign, which urged advertisers to stop sponsoring Beck's show on Fox News in response to his extreme rhetoric, including having called Barack Obama a racist. After graduating from law school and joining Mediamatters, Carusone started a spin-off campaign called Drop Fox, #DropFox, which encouraged advertisers to pull ads from Fox News shows, all Fox News shows, until the network fired Beck.